The easiest way to tell, instead of just looking at the names, is to stand next to this guy. You'll notice that Han, get back here. Han is just a little bit taller than Luke.
At last,
because Luke is just really too short to be a stormtrooper.
At last we will have revenge.
That's how you can tell them apart. Little known fact. But the green screen's having a hard time with my face for some reason. It can't make any sense of this face. Same. So this is awkward. You can't do that on this channel. Clipping on this channel is not available due to your preferences set by the channel owner. Anybody else, I was gonna say, anybody else who's just a follower, anybody else who's following, can you clip? Because people that I think I would.
Brothers.
I'm gonna protect you, all right? I got your back. Go, go, go.
Related by brain. Okay, well, hold on.
Go, go. I got your back. I got your back. Go,
okay,
go.
True. Non, I'm literally gonna look at your ass. If I come back after the bathroom break and
when puzzles too hard, men go crazy. Hey, kid. Don't worry about Dad. He's fine. Just having a little. The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. It's time to get up. It's time to get going. Time to see a friend of mine. He's warm and he's fuzzy. I love him because he's just a Pooh Bear. Winnie the Pooh Bear. Wherever you go. Oh, won't you take me, please, Pooh Bear? Winnie the Pooh Bear. It's me and it's you, my silly old Winnie the Pooh. I grew up on that. It was my childhood. I loved that show.
Easily.
Look at this guy.
Have you forgotten?
You can hear him. Do you hear that? Wait.
There's no time to waste, B.
Shh, shh. Ooh. That looks good. The smacking.
B?
Okay, okay. I'm trying to have fun here,
Sorry.
and you're just in the way.
Don't have any time to lose, so.
B, wait. I need you.
Okay.
Yorinobu Arasaka must answer for this crime of patricide.
Looking for justice in Night City.
I seek revenge. Much more feasible here. I have
That looks so. The milk is caught in my beard. I don't know if they look like these or not. I don't know. Hang on one sec. Happy Friday, everybody. Friday, February 2nd, 2024. Be kind. I thought that would be closer. I thought it would be like this. Good message to start the Friday, right? On the exclusive Spooky Deer mug. Guaranteed to make your coffee taste better. I'm not sure what he laced it with, but it was something. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to the Friday thing. It is February 2nd. It's Groundhog Day today. Do you all know about this? We're going to talk a little bit about Groundhog Day because, to be completely honest, I know
It's Chuck Norris's
almost
water.
next to nothing
It's
about
a
it. Oh,
roundhouse
thank you.
kick of hydration.
I do need to hydrate because, man, my lips are so chapped. Laced it with a matchstick. You know what's up, Coleman. Exactly. Thank you for the roundhouse kick of hydration. You talked about this yesterday. You almost got me. I was almost like, wait, did I? No, I didn't. No, wait, oh, it's the joke. It's the joke that I'm perpetually trapped in this loop of a day. No, it's actually Groundhog Day today. Didn't realize it until I woke up, and I was like, you know what? Maybe we should do my favorite thing to do on stream with you all, which is read Wikipedia. Wikipedia research, which basically just means like sort of kind of generally looking at Wikipedia for a few minutes. kind of browsing it, scrolling through it until we find something interesting. So that'll be a fun time, because to be completely honest, I have no idea why we started Groundhog Day. I actually, until this morning, called it Groundhog's Day, and that's not right. It's Groundhog Day. So I know next to nothing about it. It seems very weird. Hang on, let me give you a quick look real quick. I saw something this morning that made me just be like, this is weird. There's a video called Groundhog Day for Kids. I'm going to have to mute this. But take a look at this for a second, okay? This is from the AP. This is the... Did they already do it? I think they might have done it. Earlier, they were singing songs and, like, dancing. And it was really weird. It just felt super awkward. Very, I think I can say this because I am of this class. But it's very white, right? Uh-oh, is it done? Is that it? I think it's done. Oh, wait, hang on. Maybe I can go back. Here we go. This is what I saw earlier. Congratulations, I forgot to say. Congratulations to Blue for your second time becoming the Phantom Menace. I'm so proud of you. And hello, Ams. Good morning. Happy Friday. Did you wake up to the heat of the moment playing? In the heat of the moment. No, I didn't. So I think this is what I saw. This is weird, right? Did this become like a Trump rally at some point? I've never watched this. We're not gonna listen to it because they're playing copyrighted music, obviously, but like I've never watched this whole event before. And I didn't realize what a weird... Because this is a Canadian holiday too, right? Is this what it normally is? Is it people dressed up in sacrilegious American flag attire? You can't burn a flag, but you sure can turn it into a suit and wear it and dance around like a fool. Such respect for the flag, right? You know, so American. That's just weird, right? Gobbler's Knob. There is so many people, and I'm just gonna say there's so many white people. Is this a very white tradition? It kind of seems like it, right? It's so weird. I don't know. Hang on, let me see if I can see what they're saying now. Yep. Really? You're playing that song? And she's taking chicken and drag. What? I know you won't be able to hear that on the VOD, but okay. Why are you playing that song? Okay. This is not what I thought Groundhog Day was either. I don't know what's going on. Does anybody know if this is normal? Did he see a shadow? I have no idea. I can skip forward. Oh, here we go. Maybe we could. Can we at least watch this part? Maybe. Hold on. Hang on. Let me pause this music. Okay. What? Oh. You're gonna talk to Phil? Okay, just tell me. They're chanting Phil, Phil, Phil for those of you on the YouTube. You can't hear this part. I hope I'm not gonna get like taken down for this. Okay, here we go. Punxsutawney Phil. Okay. Gobbler's Knob. What is it called? Gobbler's. Okay. Here it goes. Here it comes. He's very wordy. This is going to be great for YouTube content because I won't be able to hear any of this. Okay. He's very wordy. Oh, here we go. Oh, we missed it. Everybody's cheering. Is it good? Oh. No shadow. Okay. Okay, so he did not see his shadow, which means spring is on its way. There we go. This is so freaking weird. I'm sorry. It's so weird. It's so weird. Why are there so many people there? It's so weird. Okay, that's it. That's all. That's all. Okay. That's all she wrote. All right. Well, let's bring that down a little bit. Okay, so apparently this is not what I thought Groundhog Day was. I need to look at it. I need to look into it because I knew that they did the whole shadow thing, and I always thought it was weird, but I want to read some Wikipedia with you all this morning. I have a Wikipedia article pulled up, so we'll read a little bit more about it. But he said that spring is on its way, which if Texas is any indication, it's very warm right now for January or February. I mean, it's 56 degrees outside right now. Before the sun came out, we're going to get up to 67, but we're staying in the 60s and low 70s for the next week or so, which is pretty nice, honestly. I'll take it. But it just means it's probably going to be a very hot summer as well. It is literally illegal to wear the flag. I thought so. If not illegal, very frowned upon. You know, are they kissing groundhogs? They don't kiss the groundhogs, I don't think. She takes off her groundhog cloths. The title said he did. What? Oh, it says if. Okay. Because a knob is another word for hill. Yeah, gobblers, though. They had to know what they were doing with Gobbler's Knob, right? Up here on old Gobbler's Knob. Spoiler, it means literally nothing. What happens if they get it wrong, like, nobody mentions it. Literally nobody talks about it. Beyond the day, no one else talks about it. That's it. It's just a weird rat. You almost feel bad for the groundhog at some point. You know? It was only a kiss. How did it end up like this? That's such a weird song to play for that. It has something to do with the location of the sun. It will determine how fast spring will be here because the sun raises sooner in the spring and summer. Does that even make sense? Maybe. Let's read the article, shall we? Lars, hello. Happy Febookuary. Should we talk books before we get into... We can talk books at the end because I think that should be pretty short. We can talk a little bit more about Groundhog Day. Yeah, imagine the stress it's under with all those people screaming and yelling and playing pop songs from 2000s about kissing. Just imagine. Okay, so my favorite thing to do is just to kind of browse through Wikipedia, and see if we can make sense of this holiday. Okay. So for the film Groundhog Day, let's not do that. Let's see. Groundhog Day, Pennsylvanian German. So is it a German roots? Grunzog. I should not try to pronounce these. Grunzog Dog, Grunzau Daug. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Okay. Nova Scotia has Dax Day. It's a tradition observed in the United States and Canada. So how come it has all these like German names and whatnot, and from Nova Scotia, but yet it's only observed in U.S. and Canada? Is there maybe there's different words for it in different countries? Sound off, Lars. Is there anything like Groundhog Day where you're from? Omina too. Hello, Omina. Good afternoon. Do you have anything like Groundhog Day? Pennsylvania Dutch, no. It derives from Pennsylvania Dutch superstition that if a groundhog emerges from its burrow on this day and sees its shadow, it will retreat to its den, and winter will go on for 6 more weeks. If it does not see its shadow, spring will arrive early. So I can see some people outside, and they see this creature emerge from the ground and look around and kind of sniff the air and get a sense of like, okay, no, it's still too cold. And if the sun doesn't come up and give him his shadow, he knows, okay, it's still going to be too cold. No. If he does not see his shadow, that doesn't make any sense. I thought like if you saw your shadow, it means the sun is rising earlier, which means it's going to get warmer. And if he did, but no, apparently it's the other way around. If he goes back into his den, winter will go on for 6 more weeks. Weird. Ergo, this is weird, irrelevant, white colonial. I mentioned that when I was watching the ceremony, that it was very white, very, very white. Pardon me if I'm being spicy. That's kind of part of what I want to learn. A lot of the stuff that we look at around here, especially in the U.S., when it feels weird, it's probably colonialism. It's probably something like that, you know? Probably centuries ago, but Americans are weird with traditions. They really are. It doesn't... All right, the tradition remains popular in the 21st century. Studies have found no consistent association between a groundhog seeing its shadow and the subsequent arrival of spring-like weather. This doesn't matter. I'll tell you that from what I've learned from being a very fundamentalist Christian over the years, over my young life, this part doesn't matter if the science doesn't hold up. It's a story, it's a legend, it's a lot of times it's just fun, you know. There could be an element of that to Groundhog Day where it's just fun and I'm being overly critical of it. But I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, but nobody really cares. Science doesn't matter, exactly. I don't think many people who are there actually believe in the superstition. The weather lore was brought from German-speaking areas where the badger is the forecasting animal.
It's Chuck Norris's water.
It's a badger,
It's a
badger,
roundhouse
badger,
kick
badger,
of
badger,
hydration.
badger. Mushroom. They don't Americare. He's probably checking the air pressure, density, etc. Honestly, see, I could see that. Animals are a lot more adept at noticing atmospheric changes. I could see them again coming out and being like, "Still too cold, bye," and leaving. Like that totally makes sense, you know. Whether or not that predicts what 6 more weeks will be, I think is a different story, but I feel like these things are often more insidious than they might appear. I agree with that too. That's kind of what I want to get to the heart of as well, if that ends up being the case. At least the origins of them, whether or not the people who are currently celebrating it are complicit in insidiousness, it remains up for debate. But a lot of these things do. Excuse me. I just kidding. I'm getting my kids ready. So no idea what you're saying. Just heard the line that hurt my heart. What hurt your heart? Oh, that science doesn't matter. Oh no, I'm saying to people who would believe in something like that. The science doesn't matter. Science does really matter. Good morning, Charles. How's it going? It does hurt, though. It's related to the lore that clear weather on the Christian festival of Candlemas. Here we go. Candlemas. What is Candlemas? It forebodes a prolonged winter. Candlemas. Candlemas, also known as Feast of the Presentation of Jesus Christ, Feast of the Purification of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Feast of the Holy Encounter. It's a Christian feast day commemorating the presentation of Jesus at the temple. I've never heard of this one, but I'm not. This looks very Catholic. I'm not Catholic. It is based upon the account of the presentation of Jesus in Luke. Okay. What does that have to do with? Okay, so it's just around this same holiday? Yeah, February 2nd. Okay. Related to the lore that clear weather on Christian festival of Candlemas. Okay, so they're saying if Candlemas brings clear weather, then it forebodes a prolonged winter. You know, for people who systematically targeted witches for so long and like burned them at the stake, Christians sure are like superstitious, aren't they? It's really weird. The 6-week thing is probably something to do with the lunar cycle. Yeah, just happened to coincide at one point. You're being silly. Okay. 5-year-old is having a tantrum before school. Ugh, I feel you. 4.5 over here. I know those. Do they have like one tantrum per day? Sometimes my kiddo is more than one, but a lot of times he gets like one and we kind of like let him like try to work through it and get him through it. And then usually he's good at the other side. I'm Catholic and I don't even know what that is either. Really. Maybe we don't celebrate it. I don't know if you're in the U.S., but maybe we don't celebrate it in the U.S. The Groundhog Day ceremony held at Punxsutawney in western Pennsylvania, centering on a semi-mythical groundhog named Punxsutawney Phil, has become the most frequently attended ceremony. Groundshaw lodges in Pennsylvania Dutch country and the southeastern part of the state observe the occasion as well. Other cities in the United States and Canada have adopted the event. Canadians, what is your Groundhog Day celebration like? So the Pennsylvanian Dutch were immigrants from German-speaking areas of Europe. The Germans had a tradition of marking Candlemas, February 2nd. That's probably why. So it's a German thing. As Badger Day, on which if a badger emerged from its den, encountered a sunny day, thereby casting a shadow, it heralded 4 more weeks of winter. Why that? That's a part that seems opposite to me. If you were to told me that I had to guess how this worked before reading this, I would have said, if he gets out and sees his shadow, it means the sun is up earlier, which would mean we're heading into, the earth is tilting on its axis back. We're heading into spring earlier. But apparently it's the opposite of that. That doesn't make any sense. I've never paid attention to Groundhog Day. I've barely paid attention to it. This is the most attention I've given it my entire life. Yeah. Also, Pennsylvania Dutch is called Dutch, not German, because Germany in German is Deutsch. So they have to classify Pennsylvania Dutch, huh? I heard this morning on MSNBC that some New York City mayor was in Punxsutawney and dropped the groundhog on its head, then it died a few days later. When was this? Yeah, not sure when. It definitely wasn't this time. We would have seen that. That's horrible. No, poor groundhog. That part's not funny. It's funny when people's things fall apart like that, Good morning, Code. How's it going? Which is bad, but if their guy does magic, it's fine. Yeah. The whole history behind witch hunts, yeah. I'm in the U.S. Maybe you're right. We just don't celebrate it in the U.S. I mean, it isn't really something you celebrate. It's like they broadcast what we watched this morning. They broadcast that out. Some guy, they give him like a choice of 2 scrolls, and whichever one he like looks at, that's the one they read. So it isn't even about his shadow. They say that they're interpreting for him. It's so weird. It's kind of gotten off the rails, I think. From a simple person out in the fields of Pennsylvania, and they see a groundhog pop up, and then go back into his hole, and they think, I wonder if he knows something. You know how they say that like dogs can tell when a storm is coming? I wonder if they're like, I've seen him do that a couple winters now. I wonder if that means anything. And they start writing it down. That makes sense. Like, you're looking for things, you're looking for signs, you're looking for patterns. Humans love looking for patterns, right? So it makes sense that they would do something like that. But then all of a sudden now turning it into this is where it gets weird to me. Germany. So that's the Candlemas stuff. Let's see. We'll kind of skim through some of this. Weather lore, use of the Candlemas to predict the start of spring. That's fine. We knew about that. The Groundhog as a badger. The Pennsylvanians maintained the same tradition as the Germans on Groundhog Day, except that winter's spell would be prolonged for 6 weeks instead of 4. For the Pennsylvanian Dutch, the badger became the Dachs, which is referred to as a groundhog. The standard term for groundhog was Groundhogs? I shouldn't try to do a German accent. I don't have it. The weather superstition that begins I'm not gonna try that. February 2nd is Groundhog Day. If the groundhog sees its shadow, is given as common to all 14 counties in Dutch Pennsylvania country in a 1915 monograph. When the groundhog sees a shadow on the morning of Merry Candlemas, he will again go into his hole and remain there for 6 weeks. But if the morning of Merry Candlemas is overcast, the groundhog will remain. Oh, so it isn't about the sun. It's just about it being cloudy or not. That's weird. Let's see. I'm a little bit behind here. My oldest is watching, says, is this live? His name is Levi. Hi, Levi. It is live. Ish. I'm a little bit behind on chat. Sorry. I'm a little behind, but it is live-ish. Oh, you're talking about Candlemas. Yeah, it looks like it's primarily like a Candlemas itself is more German. German Catholic. I want to go back to sleep. Me too. Ads coming in about 2.5 minutes. Thank you, Bebo, for letting me know. 2014, 10 years ago. Wow. A decade ago. 2014 was only 4 years ago, right? Right? That's pronounced Deutsch. Did I say that right? Deutsch. I grew up Catholic and celebrated Candlemas, at least the 4 years I was at Catholic school. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's playing with you. 2014 doesn't feel like that long ago, but it was over a decade ago now, or a decade ago. I wonder if there's actual science about animals knowing when spring is happening, like bears sleeping and waking up. Yeah, see, that's what I think. I don't know if I'd call it science, but I would call it observational data collection, where you're like a farmer's almanac kind of thing, right? You did, surprisingly. I did pronounce it right. Okay. They also have Michaelmas along with Christmas and Candlemas. Interesting. But yeah, I think it's sort of like they would be writing down all the stuff that's happening, how good the crops are doing, how bad the crops are doing, and the events that led up to it. And then slowly over time, they start noticing a pattern of like, hey, whenever the animals do X and Y, this happens. So I think they look at those things as indicators. And then the superstition, I think, comes on top of that, where they're like, well, there must be some kind of, I've got to pay more attention to this. I got to make this thing kind of like holy to make sure that we follow the same routine to make sure that the same thing happens. Because, yeah, I mean, I can see animals being able to sort of like be like, ooh, brr, still cold. And that might indicate something. But I don't know if I'd call that. It's a form of science, I guess, kind of. It's observational, at least, right? You can't just put mass on the end of anything and make it a holiday. Apparently, you can. You can if you are big enough and you try hard enough. You can. The funny thing is that the U.S. is pretty big is pretty big. So determining the remaining extent of winter elsewhere from Pennsylvania is pretty funny. That is funny, yeah. Science and it's a system in the animals that knows things and how that animal knows that. Oh yeah, like sharks have a beautiful sense to know what's happening around them. And like I said earlier, some dogs can sense when a storm is coming. I'm not so sure about this guy here. Oh, you can't even see him. He's laying on the yoga mat though. Hey, Smokey. 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 He is out. Never. Oh, there he is. Hi. Hi. You see your shadow today? No. Okay. Yeah, I woke him up. I'm sorry. He does not care. Nope. Nonster Miss. We should make it a thing. Let's do it. Hey, Ursa. Good morning. You literally can. That's what mess means. I would think it would only apply to the area the groundhog is observed. Yeah, but like all of our weather events are all connected. We live on a global planet that is all connected in weather systems, and things that happen here affect things that happen everywhere else. So like it might not be exactly the same, but I think you could make some connections. Les Mis discusses the day. It's the 2nd of February, that ancient Candlemas day, whose treacherous sun, the precursor of 6 weeks of cold, inspired Matthew Landsberg with the 2 lines that have been, which have deservedly become classic. Let it gleam or let it glimmer, the bear goes back into his cave. Interesting. Bear rat. The genus name signified bear rat. The European marmot is the same genus as formerly. Okay, so we're getting into what type of groundhog it is. The observance of Groundhog Day in the U.S. Sorry, I didn't go back to this. First occurred in German communities in Pennsylvania, according to known records. The earliest mention of Groundhog Day is an entry from February 2nd, 1840, in the diary of James L. Morris of Morgantown in Pennsylvania Dutch country. According to the book on the subject by Don Yoder, this was a Welsh enclave, but the diarist was commenting on his neighbors who were of German stock. Interesting. Okay, so German is really where it came from, Germany. And then the fact that there was a lot of German settlers in Pennsylvania Dutch country, am I following that correctly? That's kind of why it takes place there. Yeah, each town needs its own Groundhog Day. An easy way to tell is purse your lips and breathe in. You can sense the air better. Really? Tastes like PC. 6 more weeks of winter. Stormy weather does have a specific feel. It's pretty obvious when you know. Yep, for sure. I love that smell of right before rain starts, and you're like, ooh, it's gonna rain, especially in the spring. Yeah, so there's some things that are pretty obvious like that. Nostradamus stream, first day of the year. Is that where I just make predictions about what's gonna happen in the year, and then we see if they play out? Nostradamus, I like that. I do like that. I am not known for making good predictions. I've predicted things, especially politically, which is why I don't really predict too much. I have my fears and my worries about what might happen, but I think that's different than predictions. I had predictions about how things would go in the past, and they have not. That is not a gift that I have. I have fears, I have concerns, I have worries, I have optimisms, all of that, but none of them really seem to be any kind of clairvoyancy, you know? You heard Dutch? Yeah, you did. Pennsylvania Dutch. Do you know anything about Groundhog Day, where you're from? Dutch Daddy? And here, snow melts weeks later than the north. Then here in southwest Finland, it's like 600 kilometers from here to my hometown. So yeah, Groundhog saying spring is coming might be correct in my town, but not in my hometown. True. I mean, it's early enough in the year, we could still make predictions. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Can we watch more Smokey? I mean, he's pretty comfy. I don't know if You can have this view if you want. There he is. There. I can feel the weather in my knees. I hear that. That smell is called petrichor. I love it. I love that smell. I can feel it in my fingers. I can feel it in my toes. Christmas is all around us. No, just the movie. I think I've only seen that movie one time, and I thought it was fine. It was just fine. It was okay. You can't even see him. I should have turned the overhead light on, but it's too late now. I like the vibes in here. We should make predictions in the Discord that that when spring comes to our own towns. It's so hard to tell, though, when exactly you're like, okay, I mean, you know it when you see it, but seeing the first parts of it is kind of hard. So one of the trees in my front yard already has little bulbs on it like it's going to bloom because the weather's been that nice lately. I don't know if we're going to get another freeze. I mean, according to Phil, Punxsutawney Phil, who is an ancient creature who never dies, who has been alive now for hundreds of years, and we should fear. According to him, spring's coming. So maybe we won't get a big freeze. We got a little bit of snow this year. Just a couple weeks ago. I do like Nostradamus, though. In fact, I like it so much, I need to go and write it down. Hang on, I'm gonna write it. I'm just gonna write it in the notes app here. Let's see. Well, we can pivot a little bit from Groundhog Day. I still don't understand why it looked like a Trump rally. That's one part I don't really understand still. But, you know, who am I? I have too many of these started ideas. There we go. Okay. Nostradamus? I think I spelled that right. It says I spelled it wrong, but that's because I put the 0 in it. So, of course, Nostradamus is not a thing. It's early February. My bet is we get another freeze. The big freeze we got a couple years ago did also happen in February. But man, is it not? Here in Texas, it's fairly warm. But I guess I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we get at least a little bit cold for February. So, pivot. Time to pivot. Time to go. How did January go for you all? How many of you did some yoga in Yoga January? At least some. If you did it one time, you're a part of this. I just spilled water all over my chest. Now it's all wet. I think we'll start getting spring in March, maybe the 14th. What makes you say specifically the 14th? That's very specific. Man, it's leaking everywhere. January and February is the coldest time of the year here. That's typically the case here as well. We don't start getting cooler temperatures until, there was one time where Thanksgiving was like 80 degrees, and I hated that. I hate that. I need the holidays to be cold. Like, in order to enjoy them fully, it needs to be at least a sweater weather. Please, at least. I want to be able to start a fire. That's about it. I did just buy a whole bunch of firewood that I'm not going to make it through this year, but I'll have some for next year. What are cold holidays? You wouldn't know, huh? I didn't do yoga, but I developed a healthy sleep schedule. That's important too. Just 13 and 15 didn't feel right, so that's why you went with 14. Okay, fair enough. In Buenos Aires, January and February are the hottest months. It's opposite of us. It's upside down land. I'm very happy you've been able to stick with that too. I had a really good time in Yoga January, and I actually did some yoga yesterday. So my plan is to find a little 10 to 15 minute flow that I can do each morning just to kind of keep myself limber, I did have a good time with it. I'm still a little disappointed in myself for not making the full 30 consecutive days, but I have forgiven myself of that, and it's fine now. But it's like, I don't think I've ever made it through one of those 30 days doing it consistently, consecutively for 30 days, you know. But it happened. I'm not going to beat myself up about it and then quit. So I kept going. And now I feel like it's a really good thing to do right between stream and work, where I can kind of pull away. Because I wake up, I make some coffee, I do my thing, get myself at least somewhat presentable in the morning, and then stream. And then usually I open the laptop, it's right here, open the laptop and start in on work. So it's nice I'll open the laptop and check in and see how things are going. As long as the world's not on fire, then I can kind of still pull myself away. It's just nice. It's been nice. Doing something is always better than doing nothing. That's true. That should be the theme of the year, right? It's just like doing something is better than doing nothing. Making a little change is better than no change at all, I think. March is when the weather starts to turn on the East Coast. That would be nice. Yeah, it might be March for us too, though. Might be when things start to get hot. I know by June, it's going to be ridiculously hot. Ridiculously hot. Didn't do yoga, but teaching myself to make everything from scratch was lovely. That's cool. Lost a couple pounds from eating healthier because of everything being scratch and no preservatives. I also lost a few pounds. It's not as much as I wanted to. However, I am going to chalk some of that up to the yoga and building some more muscle, because I've noticed a significant change in my like gut and belly area. So I know that I burned more fat this month than the scale is telling me. So I'm not letting that scale dissuade me, because I know that what I'm doing works because I've done it before. So it's like, I know that it's probably just going to be a slow start. I'm not going to melt away the 100 pounds that I need to lose. Really, probably more like 70 to 80, but still, essentially 100 pounds. And it's not going to happen overnight. So I'm still pretty proud of January, food-wise as well. Yeah, I don't think I gained a ton of muscle, but I think I can probably account for a pound or two just out of that way. So the pupper wanted to cuddle, so now he's inside my hoodie. That's cute. I don't think Smokey would do that. He'd just go, I feel like attendance awards are kind of like bullshit. Why do you say that? Do you mean like doing things, like doing the yoga thing consecutive for 30 days? My thing is, I'm trying to do the challenges this year, each month doing a different challenge, in order to just like get myself into the habit. And then once the challenge is done, I'm not going to stop that habit, but I am going to stop being obsessive about doing it every day. You know what I mean? That's kind of my goal, is to like do it obsessively for a little while just to get myself into the habit, and then incorporate it into my daily life, you know? Something about being super strict about consecutivity feels restrictive. I mean, it is restrictive, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Especially when it came to yoga. When it comes to like working out and doing something, it feels pretty constrictive, yeah. I did a good job of continuing exercise through the holidays. Usually I slack off big time during the holidays. I do too. It was bad for me in November and December. The only good thing about it is my mental health was really good this year. Like this past year, it was in a much better spot than it's ever been. So I think that helped me. Had my mental health not been in a good spot, plus I'd been eating trash, that would have been a recipe for disaster. So that's been pretty nice. It's the best way to turn something to a habit, though. That's what they say, but, you know, don't eat trash, mate. I mean, have you tried it? Yeah, eat trash in moderation, you know? Yeah. I know that's not what you're saying, Lars. Yeah. I think it was more than fair for the yoga thing that I got caught up in my Saturday. We were doing things. I was doing things with the family. You know, we streamed in the morning, did some Lego I was out doing things with the family. It's not like I was sitting here looking at the thing saying, I need to do yoga and I don't want to do it. I need to do yoga and I just completely 100% honestly and truthfully forgot. And like, I shouldn't really beat myself up about that. I did, but I shouldn't have, because that led me to the also skipping Sunday the next day, which I think was less than, that was definitely a pity day, you know, because I was like, I don't want to have to tell everybody that I forgot. I don't want to, you know. So we do have raccoons. Not so much here in Texas. Growing up in Missouri, I had a lot of raccoons trying to get into our trash all the time. I can't be mad about forgetting we were just out doing stuff. Exactly. Yeah. So I shouldn't have been too mad. Once I had some time to sit and reflect about it, it's like I shouldn't have been upset about it, but I was a little disappointed in myself. It's like, I just started. This is not a hard thing to remember to do. There's also, you know, we've had that whole conversation about how terrified it makes me when my memory goes out a little bit, and I'm like a little scared that it's, here it comes, I'm losing all my memory, when it's like, no, I was just busy, you know, just busy. No nonster, Rip. You didn't get a nonster? So going into February then, so Yoga January, I'm putting that into at least my weekday routine before work. And going into Febookuary, oh, it's just you that's crashing? Yeah, it looks like everything's good on my side from what I can tell. Going into Febookuary, I want to talk really quick about some of the books that I want to read this month. And I need some help in determining if you all think that this is going to be too big of a goal for me. But I want to try to read all these books this month. Is that a lot? I know for a lot of you, you're going to laugh and be like, that's 3 books. One of which, this is very small. This is pretty small too. And this one has a lot of pictures and comics because it knows how I need to, how I like to read. But yeah, this one, I'm already 25 pages in, have you know, but this one I've been meaning to read for so long. I got it from the library and then it just sat there. I don't know what happened. I read the first book in this series and I loved it. Light of the Jedi, like such a great book. Couldn't put it down, really, like could not put it down. Got the second one and just lost all my gas. Just was like, okay. And had to eventually return it to the library because it was overdue. So then I went on Amazon. This was $8 on Amazon, hardcover for Light and Life. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and buy it. I don't have a lot of books. I don't plan on owning a ton of physical books, but you know what? Maybe I should. I didn't want to go pay $80 for another Kindle only to have it break or something. $80 to $100 at least. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get regular books and we'll be fine. If I really get into reading, I'll maybe do a Kindle thing again at some other point, or the Kobo. But I don't know. There's something about a physical book. Depends on how often and long you read. True. So yesterday, I'll be honest with y'all, I almost forgot. I was like, at some point during the day, I'll be able to knock out 5 pages. No big deal. I'm challenging myself to do at least 5 pages a day. Obviously, I'm going to do more than that. Obviously. But that's like, if I forget and I only have a few minutes, I'm going to try to knock out 5 pages at least. Again, to just get myself into that habit while being a little more gracious with myself, like unlike January. But yesterday I almost forgot. And it was about 9:00 at night. And I was like, I haven't read anything. I was like, I can knock out 5 pages. No big deal. I got 25 pages into this one. See? 25. But I was kind of falling asleep in my chair. So this is my biggest problem with reading is I have the best intentions, I think. I have good intentions to read. And then I'll sit in a comfy chair. I had some tea with me. And I will just get so incredibly tired. I do need a bookmark. You're right. I'm using the little fold over from the the hardcover right now, but I absolutely need a bookmark. I have no bookmarks. Yeah, so if there's a better time for me to read, I definitely need it. You know what I could do? Very, very real. I could do it while on lunch, on my lunch break. Feels like a really good time because a lot of times on my lunch break, I'm just like eating something and watching a show. And on lunch, that could be a really, really good time to read. I thought you were going to say you're folding the corners. No. This little, on the hardcovers, I have this paper thing. I'm using that right now. But obviously, as you get further into the book, it's going to get harder to do. And then I asked Mrs. Nonder to make me a little calendar. Like, she really loves making like lists and calendars and stuff, but little check boxes for each day in February so that I can check it off. That'll be pretty cool. She got very excited about that. So I don't think she's done it yet, but she did get very excited about it. Have you read the Timothy Zahn Heir to the Empire series? I have. Back in the day, I read those. Liked them. That's a dust cover. Yeah. Dust cover. That thing. I thought it was a built-in bookmark. I just used that because I had nothing else at the moment. So I did read the old Heir to the Empire trilogy. I actually started it again on audiobook not too long ago and haven't finished that yet. But I'm interested in reading the new Thrawn books, the Thrawn Ascendancy, I think it's called. I'm interested in that, but I'm also very interested in the High Republic. Like, I like this era. I like the way that the Jedi are very... when they talk about Jedi being the guardians of peace and order and justice and all that, like, by the time we see them in the prequels, they were already so corrupted by being so involved in the politics of the time and a lot by Palpatine's influence too, that like they were so quick to just go to war unquestioningly. It takes a long time for the Jedi to get that corrupt. So not that there isn't corruption in the High Republic, but it just feels like a very hopeful era, a very fun era, a very the Jedi are just at their height. And I think that's something we haven't really seen before. We've heard people talk about it a lot, but it's just so cool. And the lightsabers with cross guards and all this stuff is just it's so cool. The whole aesthetic is really pleasing to me. I very much enjoy it. And like I said, the first book, The Light of the Jedi, is a phenomenal read. Even if you don't want to read the rest of them, it's such a nice little standalone story. And it kept me engaged the whole way through. Just the way that it was written, the pacing, all of that, it was really, 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 really good. It made me excited about reading again. So here I am a year later, having not finished the second book. But that's how I do things, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm planning on just making reading a priority. I put an amount on it that's very low, that I know that if things get really tough and I need to just crank out 5 pages, I can. But much like I thought would happen, when I got 5 pages in, I was like, that was only like 10 minutes. I'm gonna keep reading, So I just kept reading until I got tired. But my biggest problem is getting tired and falling asleep or feeling like I'm going to fall asleep because my brain just disengages whenever I start reading. So maybe I will try at lunchtime. I think a lunchtime reading would be a good idea. Yeah. I think that's a good thought. And of course, if I miss it, I can do it throughout the I can do it in the evening before I go to bed. If I try to read in bed, I just laugh because like if I tried to seriously read in bed, turn everything off, sit up in bed, nice covers around me, crack open a good book, I swear to you, I will be tired in 2 minutes. I'm not exaggerating. That was only 10 minutes. I can read some more. Yeah. That's what I assumed would happen. Like, I'm going to set the goal low just so I can say I read 5 pages a day at least. At least. Yeah, but that's the plan. That's the plan for Febookuary. If I happen to cruise through these books, I'll probably read more. It's really funny. Mrs. Nonder, Ashley, she when I told her about it, I was like, "Hey, do you want to do the Febookuary thing with me?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna try to challenge myself to read 5 pages a day. I know I'll probably end up reading more than that, but like I just want that to be the minimum." And she looks at me and she's like, five books? I was like, "No, 5 pages." And she's like, 5 books? 5 books a day? 5 books a week? 5 books? She's like, "Oh, 5 books in the month?" And I realized she was making fun of me because this woman can blast through a book. There has been times where she's told me, "Oh, hey, I got this new book. It's really interesting. Here's what it's about. I just got it this morning." And then the next day, she'll talk about another book and I'll be like, what happened to did you not like that other one? She's like, "Oh no, I finished that." I'm sorry, you finished that book? And I was like, "How long was it?" And she looks at how many pages, and it's like books like this. Shoot. It's books this big. And she's just like, "Yeah, I think people read faster than me. I have a problem where I have to really, 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 really pay attention to what I'm reading. Otherwise my mind wanders. And then all of a sudden I'm just blind reading. I don't know if that's the right expression, but like I'm reading the words in my mind, but I'm not registering them. And I'm like, I'm lost. I have to go back. And I'll have to go back several pages to try to figure out what in the world is going on. That's my brother. He read the entire Harry Potter series in under a week. Yeah, she could do that. She's an avid reader. A chronic reader, you could say. Yeah, just been able to just blast through a book like that. That's what you do as well. You read too fast, or do you oh, okay, yeah. You stop reading, but you're seeing the words on the page. So your mind continues to read, but my mind just wanders. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. Yeah. I have no idea what's happening. I need to go back and reread this again. So I think that's part of why it takes me so long to get through books, is just my attention span. The ADHD kicks in hard. Yeah. And I think without diagnosing her, I think she's able to get through books a lot quicker due to her, what would you call it? Due to the way that her mind is organized. You know what I mean? You just stop reading the book entirely and give up. That sounds familiar too. Glitch has got new emotes, and there's one I really like because I think it'll come in handy when you go back to puzzles. Please. It's a brain that says, "Please use me." Stop. I'm excited to go back to Monkey Island. Let's take the last couple minutes here to talk about that. Not those who nonder are not all lost. I like that. Not all those who nonder are lost. Oh, you got to spell. Not all those who nonder are lost. You got to do it like that. I like that though, old school. I like that. Let's take a minute to check in. Let's just check the pulse here real quick. How is everybody feeling about the POW world? How are we feeling about the POW world streams? Are we enjoying the content? The viewership's been great. Everything's been going well there. Just doing a little vibe check to see how people are feeling about POW world streams. I don't want us to get stuck in any kind of ruts. I'm feeling pretty good right now, but I'll tell you now, I don't think POW World has the kind of legs that I thought it would for me. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop it now, but it's no Tears of the Kingdom, unfortunately. You hate how I added numbers to the channel names on Discord? You don't like the leet speak? Hang on, let me look. Yeah, it's like Nonder on the net, and the 3 is an E. You don't like leet speak? It's part of my branding though. Did I go overboard with it? Maybe I went overboard with it. I could understand that. Yes, you got it early for me. But yeah, I'm autistic, and before I burn out from uni, I was massively prolific reader. It's kind of what that's what I was talking about, Lars. Yeah. I probably shouldn't talk about her in that way without her present, but I'm not meaning this in any kind of pejorative way, but I think so. Okay, let's see. Pirate eggs, not all those. Just go wild with it. But you're non or not non 3. Okay, yeah, true. You got it. Okay, good. I figured you did. Yeah. Undiagnosed, unfortunately, because that is a difficult thing to do here in the US, but I think so. And of course, everybody expresses that a little bit differently. There's a spectrum after all. So, yeah. There was a time where doing Leet Speak was big for me. Let me show you. I'm gonna reveal something to you right now. I'm gonna show you what one of my gamer tags was. One of my first gamer tags on Xbox. When I first got an Xbox Live. No, I did not participate in COD lobbies. I did play Call of Duty, but I did not participate in voice lobbies. However, I feel like I fit right in. And I want to say I didn't have this very long, okay? This wasn't like, this wasn't something that I made any kind of identity online. Oh, there's an ad. I'll wait, because I want to show you all this. Let's see. I don't think I've ever read the category of Discord channels before. You know, sometimes I think that the Discord has too many categories. And then whenever I think about like consolidating, I'm like, I don't know what I would get rid of. Yeah. Dutch, I got you. Argyle, what do we think? Good or bad? The movie? It looks a little lame to me, but I don't know. There's a lot of movies that are kind of lame. You got a PS5 ad roll. Were the COD voice lobbies gross? Oh, absolutely. Some of the worst stuff ever. Yeah. Mostly this was the era. Call of Duty Xbox lobbies were the era of blatant racism, sexism, all the isms, basically, as jokes, right? But unfortunately, when that happens as jokes, you basically just kind of program an entire generation of young men to go from I'm just joking to maybe they have a point. You know what I mean? So yeah, Xbox COD lobbies were very bad. But here, I was too socially awkward to participate in Xbox lobbies. They probably still are. Yeah, you're right about that. But this was my gamer tag for a long time, and I'm not exactly proud of this, okay? Okay, I say for a long time, but actually it wasn't, because then I changed it to something else, and then that has morphed into what my name is right now, what my gamer tag is right now. But this is what it was. So, Lars, I'm sorry. This is my history. Yes, that is XX_StarKiller_XX. Yeah. Starkiller from Star Wars. Okay. That's what it was from. Yeah. This was before, too. This was before the game The Force Unleashed came out and made Starkiller canon for the time. He's not canon anymore. But that name was a test name that George Lucas had for Luke Skywalker for a long time. He was going to be called Luke Starkiller. It's such a teen gamer. It's a bad one. Code got it right away. Dutch, I was just saying, Argyle, I have no idea about it. It just looks kind of weird to me. I don't know. It doesn't look like the kind of movie I would watch. I might watch it with my wife, but I don't know anything about it. Is it supposed to be something we're not supposed to
Guys,
watch?
I was
I don't
supposed to
know.
go to work today.
It is time.
I gotta go.
It is time. Have you seen the new Star Wars video game trailer? I'm sorry, what Star Wars video game trailer? Hold, please. Which one are we talking about here? I don't see anything new recently uploaded. Yeah, I don't see anything new. What is it? What is it called? I believe it's a new movie in the same world as Kingsman. I'm not sure if it's the same world as Kingsman, but isn't it the same guy who made Kingsman? I don't know. I've heard Kingsman in the conversation. I don't see anything recently uploaded. Old school. Don't leave me hanging here, man. I gotta know. 3 months ago, 1 month ago, 6 years ago. Star Wars Outlaws, though. I do love some Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah. The Acolyte. I can't wait for The Acolyte, by the way. Look at all these fake trailers, though. Rebel Moon. Get out of here.
Chuck Norris's
Get out of
water.
here. Okay.
It's a roundhouse kick of hydration.
It's for Outlaws? Is there a new trailer? My first gamer tag was Master Builder. That's awesome. Oh, I heard all the jokes. Oh, yeah. I do like the leet speak, though. 7 months ago, 7 days ago. Is this? It's so hard to tell with everybody making fake trailers. 2 days ago. How long ago was it? This is 7 days ago, but this looks like this has no views. Looks like a fan made something. The name drop is Galen. They drop Galen's name in Outlaws. I do have to go to work. I'll look for it. Yeah, I'll take a look. I'll try to find it. I don't see anything with a cursory glance, but yeah. Yeah. I don't get it. Why is it bad? Yeah, no, it's like Master Builder, yeah. Minecraft and Lego. There it is right there. That's awesome. Yeah, that name, it was a long time ago, but I didn't have it for a long time. I pretty much immediately didn't like it, but I didn't know what else to do. Until I discovered that I could like use my real name and mash it together in a certain way. And then I used that gamer tag for years. And then that gamer tag morphed into Nonder. Nonder's almost kind of a shortened version of that gamer tag. So, actually, I want to check something really quick. Yeah, there's pretty much like no. I'm just wondering if I can say that there's pretty much like no like records online of this. If you go far enough back in my Twitch, you'll be able to see it. So it's not a huge deal. So I'm just gonna say it. This was my gamer tag for a long time. Aaron Ander. I didn't like the way it. I was okay with it, other than the way that you said it out loud. I didn't like the way it rolled off the tongue, or rather, didn't roll off the tongue. But that was my gamer tag for quite a long time. And that morphed into Nonder, as you can probably see. Like, you can almost see that in there. You know, you done messed up, Aaron. Uh-oh. Yeah, if you go far enough back in Twitch clips, you'll see that gamer tag. I wasn't really streaming on Twitch. I did a couple like Elite Dangerous streams, and that was about it. I wasn't really taking it seriously. But that was probably from 2010 to 2011 until, gosh, 2017, 2018, something like that. Okay, yes, I do actually have to go. Let me get you all over to the Loots McGoots. Thank you so much for being here again on this Friday thing. I appreciate you all so much. And I hope I'll see you around. Tomorrow we'll be doing something. I may or may not have accidentally, on purpose, messed with the Lego stream. So I have some work to do on that today, but I should have it ready. So as long as I get that ready, we'll continue work on Charlie and chat a little bit more tomorrow morning. If not, we could always play some Pal World. We didn't really talk that much about that. We'll talk more about that later. Okay, thank you all so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same non. Bye.